Hello and welcome to Hello Academy again. Hopefully it's not the first time, but if it is, I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to look at the future perfect tense. But before we do that, please don't forget to subscribe below and also let me know you're enjoying the sessions. Alright, let's delve into this tense. The future perfect has two different forms. First is will have done, and the second, be going to have done. Unlike the simple future forms, the future perfect forms are usually interchangeable. Let's look at the future perfect with will first. This is formed by using will have plus the past participle. For example, you will have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. Will you have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US? You will not have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. Now, when we form the future perfect with be going to, we use am, or is, or are, plus going to have, plus past participle. Again, examples are, in a positive sentence, you are going to have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. For a question, are you going to have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US? And to make something negative, you are not going to have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. Note, it's possible to use either will or be going to create the future perfect with little or no difference in meaning. Firstly, we use it when we have completed an action before something in the future. The future perfect expresses the idea that something will occur before another action in the future. It can also show that something will happen before a specific time in the future. Some examples of this are, by next November, I will have received my promotion. By the time he gets home, she is going to have cleaned the entire house. I am not going to have finished this test by 3 o'clock. Will she have learned enough Chinese to communicate before she moves to Beijing? Sam is probably going to have completed the proposal by the time he leaves this afternoon. By the time I finish this course, I will have taken 10 tests. How many countries are you going to have visited by the time you turn 50? Notice in these examples that the reference points marked in italics or underlined are in the present simple rather than the future simple. This is because the interruptions are in time clauses and you cannot use future tenses in time clauses. A second way we can use it is to show a duration before something in the future. These are used with non-continuous verbs. With non-continuous verbs and some non-continuous uses of mixed verbs, we use the future perfect to show that something will continue up until another action in the future. For example, I will have been in London for 6 months by the time I leave. By Monday, Susan is going to have had my book for a week. Although these use the future perfect, it is normally limited to non-continuous verbs and non-continuous uses of mixed verbs. The words live, work, teach and study are sometimes used in this way even though they are not non-continuous verbs. You must remember we cannot use future tenses in time clauses. like all future forms, the future perfect cannot be used in clauses beginning with time expressions, such as when, while, before, after, by the time, as soon as, if, unless, etc. Instead of future perfect, present perfect is used. Look at these examples. I am going to see a movie when I will have finished my homework. That's not correct. I am going to see a movie when I have finished my homework. That's better. That's correct. If you've seen my other videos on the tenses, you will have heard me say before, the key to mastering any tense is to practice, practice, practice. Use it as often as you can, whenever you're speaking, whenever you're reading, writing, whatever. If you need more help with your English, go to my website where you can see how I can help you. Thanks for joining me today. Keep practicing and remember to like, subscribe and hit that bell icon.